Salutations everyone, and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you what mattered this week. I don't always dress in blue, but when I do, I prefer to go all out. Stay thirsty, my friends. So a lot of news today in the comic book / movie front, and it all started with a teaser image that we were given to reprise the Civil War storyline of Marvel from the 2006 to 2007 run. That was highly acclaimed, great storyline, and it looks like it's coming back. There's a teaser image right here that obviously takes place during the Civil War storyline with Spider-Man's iron suit. And it's odd that they're doing this since they also have a Secret Wars revival going on that'll be running at the same time. So we don't really know how these tie in. Are they just rewriting it? Are they revisiting it? Is it a flashback? Does it tie into Secret Wars? We don't know. But what we do know is that this made some ripples in the cinematic universe as well. A couple weeks ago, you may remember that Robert Downey Jr. revealed on Ellen that he is doing Iron Man 4. And this week, we learned he is also joining Captain America 3? Indeed, he is. And this has a lot of speculation going up against a Civil War storyline being introduced into the MCU, which you may know from my last week's episode that I thought would never happen, especially since they need Spider-Man to actually do the storyline, as he is kind of the main character and is on both sides of the war. Now, he actually has supposedly a rather big role in Captain America 3, so setting up for a Civil War would be pretty awesome and makes a lot of sense, especially with all of the rumors that people have been thinking about for years for killing off Chris Evans as Captain America, which happens toward the end of the Civil War storyline. Even though it isn't technically in the Civil War storyline, it still does happen around the same timeline. So anyways, people have been speculating Bucky Barnes coming up and taking his place once Chris Evans' contract is up, which everyone kind of thought would make sense money-wise for the actors. Now, Robert Downey Jr., many people thought would be done as Iron Man after his 2 Avengers movie, which would run out his contract. But after supposedly signing on for Iron Man 4 and a Captain America 3, looks like he's still sucking on the teat of the Marvel cash cow. And good on him, because let's face it, the dude is Iron Man. They did a fantastic job casting in the Marvel Universe so far, turning Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth into superstars, and giving us a lot of fantastic movies, starting from Iron Man all the way to Guardians of the Galaxy. And we have Age of Ultron, which has finished shooting, that will come out next year. And then the next Avengers movie is supposedly coming out in 2018, and all the other stuff that we have, including Doctor Strange, which I'll get into a bit. But this kind of has gotten the ball rolling for a supposed Civil War movie adaptation to happen, which I didn't think would happen for many reasons. One, you need Spider-Man, and you need the Fantastic Four, and you kind of need the X-Men, but they aren't as integral as, say, Reed Richards or Peter Parker is to the Civil War storyline. So you would kind of need them. Also, I don't think that they would put on screen any of our beloved heroes playing a role that we wouldn't be so fond of. Either you're pro-registration or anti-registration, you'll see Iron Man or Captain America as the bad guy in this film. Iron Man. So this would be really, really interesting to see if Marvel would actually go through this. I don't think if they did, they would stick strictly to this awesome Civil War storyline, even though they should. And they would make some changes a la how they did with Age of Ultron and skipping the whole Ant-Man thing and having Tony Stark create Ultron in the first place. So I would expect a lot of changes if they were going to go down this route. And with the talks of Spider-Man joining the MCU sometime in the near future, this would just add fuel to the fire of a Civil War coming to the silver screen, which would be a huge surprise, would blow everyone's minds, and it would have to be a 3-parter. You would have to shoot it all at once. It would have to be a trilogy because there's just too much in this epic storyline of Civil War to just fit in one and probably even two films. And there's kind of, you know, awesome, really easy spots to stop at each film, at least in my mind. But of course, I'm not making those decisions. But anyways, very, very interesting. And we'll see how this story develops both in the comic world and in the cinematic universe. So as I mentioned before, Doctor Strange has still not been casted, but apparently there are 3 frontrunners left to play the role of the Sorcerer Supreme. A lot of people were thinking that Joaquin Phoenix was going to be it. Apparently he or his team turned it down, and there was talks of Ewan McGregor, which actually would have been a really good choice, but apparently the 3 frontrunners left, which I hope isn't true, is Benedict Cumberbatch, Colin Farrell, and Keanu Reeves. All good actors. We saw, you know, Colin Farrell as Bullseye, which he did a great job of. Benedict Cumberbatch is just a fantastic actor and is amazing in everything he does. And Keanu Reeves is, you know, he's had his good movies and his bad movies. According to the fans, they want Keanu, at least from what I've seen in the forums. But I don't think any of these guys would actually be perfect to play Doctor Strange. The age, the look, the intensity, it doesn't match up perfectly with these 3 actors, and I think it does for other actors, even some that haven't been included in the discussion so far. So I hope these aren't the last 3 candidates and someone just comes out of the woodwork like, hey, look, we cast this guy, he would look perfect and is old enough and would be able to carry a film by himself. And I don't think these 3 guys are all good actors. All would be great for other roles in other things. A lot of them are being considered. There's a lot of actors, including Tom Hardy, who are thrown up in the air for Justice League films and Suicide Squad films, which I'll get into later. And just a lot of actors up in the air, so much so that I think it's going to be a little while for all that to be sorted out. But Doctor Strange is the next thing that needs to be casted because they have the director and they just can't start filming yet, and it's supposed to be coming out in the next couple years, so hopefully we'll hear something in the next coming weeks. So all this talk about Marvel, what about the DC universe? Well, Warner Brothers announced their plans for the DCU cinematic universe throughout 2020, including some casting news. Also, the Harry Potter, movie is going to be split into 3 films, and Lego movies and all that. But the DCU plan through 2020 goes as follows: Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed by Zack Snyder, 2016, and then Suicide Squad, directed by David Ayer, 2016 as well. Wonder Woman, starring Gal Gadot, which makes her appearance in Batman vs. Superman, 2017. Then Justice League Part 1, directed by Zack Snyder with Cavill and Affleck and Amy Adams, and I assume Gal Gadot. That would be 2017 as well. And supposedly being shoehorned in there somewhere is The Flash, who gets his own solo film in 2018 and has already been casted as Ezra Miller, who I think is a fantastic actor, really good in Perks of Being a Wallflower. I've been wanting to see him in more films, but I'm sorry, he'd be the youngest of the heroes by far, what they've casted in DC or Marvel universes, and he just doesn't have the looks. He's got the acting chops, but I don't think that this was casted well so far. What do you think, Helicopter? That's what I think as well. Also, Aquaman gets his own movie in 2018 with Jason Momoa, which I've also said is a terrible casting choice. Get an actor and someone who looks like Aquaman, not just some big Buffy star who isn't known for his acting. Then Shazam in 2019, as we all know, The Rock will be playing Black Adam. And then Justice League Part 2, directed by Zack Snyder, again in 2019. Then Cyborg, starring Ray Fisher, who's also in the Batman vs. Superman film, in 2020. And last but not least, Green Lantern in 2020. It would be a reboot and not presumably starring Ryan Reynolds, especially since the flop of the first film. Also, he's Deadpool and all that stuff. But very, very interesting for the DCU. They need to put out some good films for us to be excited and for, shareholders to be excited as well. So I think with all of this lined up, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice better be pretty freaking good. It has to be, because all these other movies and franchises kind of hang in the balance. It's kind of risky to go out there with a Suicide Squad before any of the other solo films. That could be done well. David Ayer, great director, But this is a really risky project. I know they have to keep up with Marvel. They feel like they do. And the fans want to see, you know, really good DCU movies, which, let's honestly be honest, they haven't really gotten outside of Batman for the most part, especially recently. And the Superman one was okay, but Batman vs. Superman better be freaking good, or there's going to be a lot of trouble brewing in the DCU. For years, people have been asking for a Pokemon MMO. Nintendo has stuck to their handheld formula with some spin-offs on multiple consoles, but they haven't delivered. They've stuck to what works, to what sells, but people are still going to want their Pokemon MMO. We've seen, like, you know, Pixelmon servers and other fan-made stuff that, you know, people have said have been pretty good, but none of them have really caught on. Have been like a full-on Pokemon MMORPG. Until now, a fan-made Pokemon MMORPG is available for download on Linux and Windows on the Pokemon forum. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check it out. Very, very interesting. You have to make the choice of, you know, Squirtle, Charmander, or Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's the best, so obviously pick him. And very, very interesting. Nintendo obviously doesn't like sharing their trademarks, so we'll see if a cease and desist letter comes out very soon. It's happened plenty of times with, you know, bigger companies, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was knocked down. Don't know if this is really going to be successful since it isn't, you know, made by Nintendo. Even though the people really want a Pokemon MMO, for the resources to be there and to give people the Pokemon experience that they want, I think it would have to be made by Nintendo. You know, fans are awesome and they make really good stuff, and maybe people would really enjoy this. There's other Pokemon games that people have made online with various amounts of success, but I don't think this one's going to be it. Even though it's a great idea, and, you know, Pokemon really hasn't had a fantastic console or PC release. I mean, they're obviously not going PC, it's Nintendo here. But as far as, like, you know, a Wii U Pokemon game that's more centric to the, you know, Game Boy line of Pokemon games, that would be really great. But I don't see anything like this coming out through Nintendo. And if anyone else tries to start one up, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo is like, nip that one right in the bellsprout. 343 Industries announced a brand new Halo game that'll be coming out on December 12th on all Windows devices. No console release yet, but I think we might be able to see one in the future since we saw with Halo Spartan Assault. It's called Halo Spartan Strike. It is a twin-stick shooter much like Spartan Assault. It is not a sequel. It takes place during Halo 2. So that's really interesting. Apparently the controls are a lot better. The battle mechanics are better. The AI as well. 343 is really proud of the advancement that they've made. It's going to be on, you know, Windows tablets and Windows phones, and I would assume a console release on the Xbox One. I don't know why, since they had Spartan Assault on the Xbox One, why this one just go outright to the consoles, unless it's just to push, you know, on their mobile platforms first and foremost, and then after they've kind of, you know, got that push out there, eventually release it on the consoles. Spartan Assault was available for free on Games for Gold. It was the first Xbox One game to be available for free, so I got that, and it's pretty fun. This twin-stick shooter mechanics works as, you know, any other twin-stick shooter would. And, I don't know, you know, more Halo games the better. I can't really say there's been a really bad Halo game, even though I didn't play Halo Wars all that much. But still, you know, more Halo games the better. It takes place during Halo 2, so that'd be kind of interesting. But, it's still not a whole lot to be excited about. I mean, we got the Master Chief Collection coming out in a couple weeks. And then, you know, we got Halo 5, and I think that's really what all people are hoping for. So, in what might be our last Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U leak, this will probably be confirmed in the next week or so, I would assume, is a description on Amazon.com about the Wii U game. It says that there will be a build your own level mode that you can do on your gamepad, as well as the Master Hand and Crazy Hand challenge modes, which was teased by Sakurai this past week with one of the words blurred out in each of the images, but one was Master and one was Crazy. And also a game board game within the game to challenge your friends, and that sounds awesome. I would imagine they would look like the little amiibo characters. That would be pretty cool. And just like adding another awesome game within Super Smash Bros. With all the other awesome modes that they have in it, with 2 new challenge modes and build your own, you know, maps. That's super awesome. I could definitely see why Nintendo was kind of holding back on this, let the 3DS have its heyday and have a couple of Wii U exclusive, stuff to it, because, it's a console that could handle more stuff. People were hoping for Wii U exclusive characters on the Smash Brothers roster, which I don't think is going to happen. So far, everything's the same. We know that everyone on the 3DS is going to be on the Wii U, even though they all haven't been shown on the Wii U platform yet. We all know it's going to happen. And I don't think we'll be seeing any exclusive characters to the roster, especially since there is, you can connect your 3DS to your Wii U and play it that way, and you can transfer data and stuff, as well as your Mii Fighter characters, which is really cool. But Sakurai just keeps giving us reasons to buy a Wii U just to play one game, and let's just say it's tempting, and you wouldn't be crazy for doing it because it's Smash Brothers. Come on, that's a killer app. If Nintendo had one, Mario Kart 8 did really well, and these amiibo characters look pretty cool, even if you just want to put them on yourself. I mean, I think that's what I'm gonna do. But more features, more game mode, more content, and an awesome game that all of us are already gonna buy. That's cool. Thank you all for watching. That was What Mattered this week. If you would like to know what matters in the future, hit the subscribe button when these comes out every single Saturday. Hope you all enjoyed. Comments are always appreciated, and the links to all the stories will be in the description below. And I will see you guys next time.